I wanted to make a festive light for the holiday season, but I did not want to just fill the mold with resin and dump fairy lights into it. I wanted a better way. So, I came up with a plan. The mold is really a pentagonal cone. It has a width of around 92 millimeters and a height of 117 millimeters. The volume is around 250 milliliters. I do not want a green conical brick. I want it to be lighter. I need to decrease the volume without taking away from the external design. I will make it hollow. I will add another cone inside it and pour resin around it. That will decrease the volume and will add another conical surface inside, which will throw the light. I have a piece of PP sheet which I can use to make the cone. It is bendy but firm enough to hold its own against the push of resin. My next challenge is ensuring that the cones stay vertical and have its tip aligned with the center. I will suspend the cone from the sides of the mold with one of my stirring sticks. They are wider than the mold, and if they get resin on them, it will come off. Will the cone fuse with the resin? I really do not know. I will wrap heat-resistant tape around it. This will ensure a clean removal of the cone after the resin is cured. I also need to make sure that the top of my cone is sealed so that the resin does not backfill into it. I will wrap the fairy light around the cone. Luckily, I do not have to worry about keeping it in place because the sticky tape will help me there. This is an elegant solution to organizing the fairy lights inside the tree versus dumping the lights into a conical bucket filled with resin. Once demolded, the battery of the light needs a housing. For now, it will just get hidden inside the hollow area. Good plan. Let's get crafting. I want the inner cone to have the same proportions as the tree, so I will use the mold to ease the paper into the right form and staple it to hold it in place. Now, I will add the layer of heat-resistant tape to the cone and complete it. It is a little tricky because it keeps sliding off. I will have to stick the starter tape to the mold with some tape, which I will remove later on, I suppose. I am now marking the resin level, taking the tip of the cone as a reference. Perhaps making a drawing and printing this out would have been easier, but I'm planning this on the go here. The support stick will be just above this line and has to be symmetrically positioned within the cone. The cone itself is asymmetrical right now, but the support needs to be symmetrical to the cone. I need to fix this to get the correct location. The support stick will be just above this line. This will ensure that the hollow remains visually pleasing. in case it is visible. I will brace it with a circle. A piece of scrap cardboard to the rescue. I did a little calculation and figured out the radius of the circle I needed with basic maths. It is sturdy and will keep the cone in the correct shape. This cardboard is not sticking. I do not wish to glue it to the cone. I think I'll make the edges a little parallelish to the cone. Maybe it'll help? It worked! Yay! Now for making sure that the stick is symmetrical, I will use a piece of cord, mark the middle, and then mark the overlap on the other side. This is an easy way to ensure that my markings are correct and no calculations needed. The circle bracing will be held in place by the support stick. The openings are a little smaller than the height of the stirring stick. However, I have cut the sides a little more towards the top, so they create these little flaps which will help in keeping the support in place and not slide off. One final check that my circular base is positioned correctly. The minimum thickness of resin I'm getting with this setup is 10 mm. That's enough. I'm using this copper wire LED string light for this project. It is springy, but it also seems to have some memory when I bend it into a shape. I will coil this around the cone, like this. The plan is that the heat-resistant tape around the cone will keep the lights in place. I'm sticking the light string to the tape as I'm wrapping around it. I made the spacing too dense. I need to space them out a little more. I'm just bending the wire a little here so that the last leg of the light is positioned at the top and the last part of the wire is hooked to the rest of the wires in the body. I'm having to use one of these tapes here momentarily because I think the tape at the top has lost a little of its tackiness because of too much touching, and I need the wires to stay in place till they are cast in resin. Just checking if the lights are working in the setup. All seems to be well. The top light is too long. I need to shorten it. My cone is fully prepped to be cast into resin. I prepared it last night because I didn't want to lose daylight and temperature while working on it. I am taking measures to make sure that the wires do not move in resin, because if they do, I will not be able to extricate them once the resin is poured into the cast. UV resin should keep the wires in place. I'm also tucking the last part of the wire firmly so that it doesn't accidentally snap out and touch the mold surface and stick out of the cured resin. I am adding some glitter to the resin for effect. While mixing, I'm also scraping the sides because the glitter seems to have an affinity for the container walls. I am adding some glitter to the tree top because I want the top to have more sprinkling than the rest of the tree. First, I pour some resin to the tip of the tree and then work on getting any bubbles out. Next, I keep adding resin and work each of the corners to remove the bubbles. Oops, the cone is floating. I had not anticipated this. I will need something to hold the cone down when I pour the resin. I can't find anything which is small and heavy to put inside the cone. I can't use larger objects because they will deform the sides and the hollow will become irregular. This little packet of small stones is heavy and the shape is not so rigid. It will not distort the cone periphery with its weight, I hope. the weight of the support is causing the side to bulge. I need some support for this, but I don't have any right now. I'll make a note now and have it ready the next time I cast this mold. Now we wait for this to cure.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
This cone is proving a little difficult to extricate. I was not very thorough with the tape, it seems, and some resin found its way through some of the cracks.
I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation.
Mainly the bottom is stuck to the main resin body.
One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good.
Look at that, the spiraling wires. It will look fantastic when lit up. The UV seal was not thorough. There is some backfill of resin here, but this was within the safe limit and I'm glad that the tape came off with a little bit of coaxing. The edges are a little rusty, nothing that a little bit of sanding can't fix. I don't need to level it all, I just need to give the outer edges a finished look. Sorry that the demolding ended abruptly. The recording got interrupted somehow and I did not realize. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays, like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.